I'm back today to do a live tarot reading for everyone. This reading I have wanted for a while now. I particularly like to look at divine feminine and divine masculine readings myself. I find them like really helpful and informative, especially when it comes to like my relationships and I just feel like I learn so much when I'm looking at things from that perspective. So today I was like, okay, I'm just gonna record live. I'm gonna do the live tarot reading for everyone. This is divine feminine and divine masculine tarot reading. And for those of you who are new and maybe don't like know, the divine masculine and divine feminine is a topic which people talk about when they're talking about souls that are looking to unite with their other half. Okay, so twin flames, you can call it twin flames, some people call it soulmates. I want to say though, my perspective over time has really changed as far as like twin flames and soulmates, because what I've seen for the collective is that it doesn't matter if someone is your twin flame or if they're your soulmate. They can lie to you, cheat on you, do you dirty. They can break your heart just as bad as if you were in a relationship to, say, a karmic person. So when I come at this reading, I was like, okay, I'm going to come at this reading in kind of a unique way, where I want everybody to kind of think about the divine feminine, divine masculine as if I am talking about just someone that they're interested in, just someone that they would be dating, just someone that they're in a relationship to. So this could be your spouse, this could be your current spouse, this could be, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, this could be a partner. This could be someone that you're just interested in. I think that I want to also go through some key points, but before I really jump in, I have to go through my normal spiel because I will totally forget. So for those of you who haven't booked a reading with me, I am still offering private readings. You can book it through my website, oracledaphne.com. You will need to send a payment first through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. I prefer PayPal. That's how I roll. And I do not have conversations. I have to say this through direct message about people. People have asked, how can they send me alternative ways of sending money for readings or donations? And essentially right now, I'm avoiding all of those because it's hard to tell. Like there's been some scammer things that have gone on with Instagram. So I really avoid any kind of those conversations. I try to avoid those conversations. If anybody would like to make a donation or book a reading, it would need to be through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. Those are the only ways that I accept payments for readings and book readings. So, and then you would need to email me to get scheduled. So payments first, then email, and then it's pretty simple. I try to keep it simple. And yeah, that's how I'm rolling for right now. I am still partnering with Jackery. I keep forgetting to put them in the description box, but they do solar power generators. I'm a big fan of them. So you're going to want to check them out. And that's pretty much what's going on. Excuse me. I think I got something clogged in my throat. I was so excited. I'm talking so fast. I was so excited to do the reading today. Excuse me. I think I need to slow down because I'm talking so fast. And I'm like, I got all this information that like is in my head and is ready to come through for the reading. So just kind of bear with me. So that's where I was at with as far as like donations and booking readings. I also want to say that I have noticed since I reposted my channel that we have gone back to the non-reciprocating model where this pretty much the same. I feel like it's like the same around 100 people watch my stuff but don't donate. Maybe 1 out of 100 would donate. If I email like 500 people, 1 would respond. That's the non-reciprocating model. And I have to say, I do have to say this because this is like this is weighing on me and pressing on me, and it's important that I don't like to function in a non-reciprocating model. It's why I took my channel down the last time. So I have come to like the determination that I'm going to be continuing to record these videos for free. But if I get to a certain point where I feel like it's too frustrating, then I will take my channel down. I have decided that I'm really determined to get to the point where I can remonetize my videos. And that's going to be like, I don't know, 30 or 40, maybe 50, even more live recordings from now. So that's a lot of work. That's all for free. I'm not getting paid from YouTube or anything. I'm not able to do ads on my channel. They took it away because I took some time out. And so it makes it really hard to stay motivated. It makes it really hard to keep going and continue to post. But I'm very determined that that's what I'm going to do. But once we get to that point where I'm able to remonetize my channel, most likely my channel will become completely subscription based. I have to decide at that point how I'm going to do it, but I think that the message is not really clear as far as how I operate. And I am at a point in my life, I turned 41 this year, that every relationship that I have, and everything that I do has value. Every relationship that I have needs to be reciprocating. And everything that I do needs to make me feel that appreciated. People need to appreciate what I'm doing, and it has value, and it does have worth. And I'm talking about this because it's been very heavy on me like the last couple of days, and I feel like it's the same people that watch me continuously. Like I said, it's like it's basically like the same 50 to 100 people who are watching my channel at this time. And it's a non-reciprocating model. And it doesn't make me happy that's happening, because I feel like when I talk about it, people get kind of defensive, or they feel like I'm blaming, things. But this is just how things are with my channel. I wish that it was different. I want it to be different. I don't know how to change it, in the sense that like I can't change the algorithm. I can't change how many people see my stuff. I can't change if people are liking, if people are commenting, or if people are clicking the bell. I can't do any of that really. That's really up to my viewers. But I don't like to function in a non-reciprocating model, because it doesn't make me feel good about what I'm doing. But I have to say that I am very determined, no matter what, to continue to post, and to continue to record. And whether you decide to be reciprocating and support me and, throw me a bone and send $10 here and there when you can, or not, that's up to you. But I will say that at a certain point, once I'm able to monetize my channel, either I will go completely subscription based at that point, or at that point I might not even like offer readings. I don't know. It really depends on how I feel regarding what I consider to be a non-reciprocating model. So that being said, I am going to jump into the reading, and I have so many other things I want to say about the divine feminine, divine masculine. So let's talk about that. So the divine feminine is, and I truly believe that we are all like, there is the divine feminine, which is the left side of our energy, of our body, and the masculine, which is the right side of our body. And for those of you who have difficult time receiving, it's the left side of your body that needs to that needs to have some work done. Now, we in our society, we have this kind of very black and white, gay or lesbian, but it's becoming a little bit more gray because there's becoming more people that are identifying as, you know, kind of someplace in the middle. I think that's non-binary. I'm not a specialist at like all of the shades of gray of what everybody could be, but I know that it was for a while. We had gay or we had lesbian, but the thing is that it's not so black and white energy wise. Energy wise, we all have feminine energy and masculine energy, and really it's more of like a percentage. So like I have found with clients, their energy going and in general, if somebody is very like 50% masculine and 50% feminine, the more, even like 60-40, like, so say you're a male, like, you were born a male, your energy is predominantly is predominantly going to be predominantly masculine. But the thing is over time, our energy starts to become imbalanced depending on our childhood. People say that they're gay from birth. So they are born with more feminine energy from birth. And the thing is that energy is going to be more predominant, okay, for them. Okay, so let's just say they're born male, but they have predominantly feminine traits. They're going to be probably closer to like 60-40 when it comes to as a male, okay, so 60-40, like 60% masculine, 40% feminine. And the problem is the closer we get to the 50-50, the more a person is going to feel like that they identify or they have more feminine qualities, or they have more and they identify more as the masculine qualities. And then there's people that don't identify as either, and they can kind of go back and forth. So there's a lot of shades of gray. It's not 100%. It's not like there is no perfect masculine model for energy. Energy just is. So I accept everybody for however their energy is. People have said that I have stronger masculine traits, stronger masculine energy. And at the same time, I do feel like I have some very strong feminine qualities. And I think that in our society, it's become kind of a thing where it's important to have a conversation about and be open about what is masculine, what is feminine, and how we kind of all balance out. And the thing about it is like I'm doing a divine feminine, divine masculine reading, and it doesn't necessarily mean that your divine masculine is going to be a male. Your divine masculine could be a masculine female, and vice versa. So let's just say you're looking at, dating or looking at a partner. Your partner you might be female, but like your divine masculine might be another female, and you could be male and looking for a divine feminine, and your divine feminine is actually male. So there's all these like interesting things. I don't limit it, okay, to just male, female. Like this is not just a reading about, okay, how do single females find their divine masculine? Because I do feel like most videos, not most, but there's a lot of issues. And I will say from personal experience that females, or anybody who identifies more as feminine, okay, have more of a harder time uniting with their divine masculine, especially if they don't really have predominant, like let's just say 80-20, 80% feminine and 20% masculine energy. It's going to be really challenging if they're a little bit more masculine. And I have to say that um the masculine females in our society have a harder time in general, period. They have a harder time because in some way there's, the strong masculine. Okay, so like that strong 80-20 masculine, that masculine that's 80% male energy and 20% female energy is going to fit the best or match up the best with a feminine energy that's more female, that's predominantly female. Okay, so that's how they're, and that's in our, for many men, that's what their ideal is: a feminine woman, a woman who, and again, going through feminine traits and feminine qualities, a woman who presents as very feminine, having more feminine qualities, having more feminine traits. And the thing is that, again, the feminine energy that struggles with the male, finding their male partner, a lot of times has issues with their receptive energy, with their female energy. Doesn't necessarily mean that they should identify or could identify as lesbians, because everybody then gets into, well, I don't want to have sex with a woman, and then it gets into who's having sex with who. And this conversation is from a very, very like high spiritual perspective. This conversation is about energy. It's about how we match up with somebody energetically. And this is about how those of you who are watching, I'm going to be reading for what's going on with the divine feminine and then what's going on with the divine masculine. And it's not going to be in a box. Okay, we are in Pisces season. We are thinking outside of the box. So I'm not looking at it from the perspective of simply male, simply female. It's not that simple. It's not that simple energetically. It's not what you're taught in school, for sure. It's not that simple. And, the whole school model, the whole religious model teaches us about, and I was thinking about this yesterday. This is interesting. The whole sex part, like who are you having sex with determines, or how you enjoy sex with a certain person determines what you are. And that's not true. What determines what you are is your energy. And everybody's energy is going to be different. And, people have asked me, what is my, like, how do I identify? And for a long time, I was identifying as bisexual. And the reason I was identifying as bisexual is because I strongly believe that that everybody, every single person on this planet has feminine energy and masculine energy. And that does not limit me to having a partner that's male or having a partner that's female. And you can have sex, like, let's just say hypothetically, I'm just going to say this. You can have sex with someone and not enjoy the experience, period, regardless of whether they're male or female or whatever. You could not have chemistry, not enjoy the experience. It has nothing to do with energy really at all. I mean, some people have chemistry. Some people have more chemistry than others, and I do believe that chemistry is, I think energy is part of that chemistry. So again, a feminine male is going to feel more comfortable with a masculine male as like a counterpart, and like a masculine female is going to feel more comfortable probably hooking up with a more feminine counterpart, whether that's male or female. And the hard part is that there's a lot of feminine males out there that don't identify as feminine males because of our society, because they're scared to identify or embrace their feminine side. And there are some that do. I'm not saying that they don't, but it's very hard because then the imbalance is the masculine and feminine. If a male isn't expressing more masculine traits for a let's just say more feminine woman, then it can become challenging because then the roles are very much reversed and everybody gets very confused. So again, it goes into, again, it gets it complicated because we've got the church, we've got school, we've got our parents telling us what to think. I have to say, reproduction wise, and I'm just going to say this is just my opinion, reproduction wise, the more complicated it gets, the worse it's going to be for population, because males and females are not going to be hooking up in the same way. They're not going to be just like, a girl is, because she's taught in school to date a male, so then she's going to get into a relationship to a male, and then she's going to get pregnant, and then she's going to have children, and then she's going to get married, or maybe get married and then have children. Okay, that's been the previous model. The problem with, I think, the future of relationships is going to be fertility and reproduction, because everybody's starting to embrace their more their energy, their spiritual energy, their understanding that we're not just 100% male and 100% female. It just doesn't work that way. It's never been that way. Okay. Even back in the day, it was never that way. Okay. It's the religious stuff that teaches us that when we're born, we're feminine, and when we're born, we're masculine, or we're female, we're male. And yes, we are born with a body that's male or female, but energy wise, it's more complicated than that. So I wanted to get that out of the way. I don't believe, and again, when I'm psychic, I read blind. Okay, I don't see in color. I don't see in I don't believe really in status. I don't subscribe to status. I don't really believe in judging people and stuff. So like essentially, when I read for everybody, regardless of race, religion, how they identify, sexual orientation, any of that stuff. When I read, that's how I read. Not because I identify as bisexual, but because I see when I'm reading for people in a very non-judgmental way, and it doesn't even cross my mind. Like when I'm reading for someone, like someone could be 100,000 pounds and I wouldn't know. Someone could have really crooked teeth and I would not know. Someone could be the richest person on the planet and I might see it in the cards, but I'm not gonna it's not gonna change how I look at the cards, and it's not gonna change really anything in my mind. So I do want to say that. Now, we are going to jump in. We're going to go for the divine feminine first. So we're going to look at what's going with the divine feminine. And if you are dating a divine feminine, or this could be, again, I'm repeating what I said. This could be your partner. This could be your current boyfriend or girlfriend. But this is divine feminine, and I want to look at what's going on with your divine feminine. I do feel like there's a blockage between you and your divine feminine, because we have this Eight of Swords here. And the Eight of Swords is one of my least favorite cards. It's in the position of attitude. So like if we were in a private reading, I would ask you, I'd be like, ask me the question, if I change my attitude, what's going to, are the cards going to change? What's going to be the outcome of this reading? Okay. And I feel like attitude does make a difference. And when I pull other cards, I do feel like for some of you, it's not going to do a damn thing. I feel like for some of you, your divine feminine is someone that is moving on from you. We have this Knight of Pentacles. So to me, it's like they're kind of closed. You might be in a no contact situation with this person that you're thinking about, or you might have communication issues with this person. When I see the Four of Pentacles, I feel like it's closed. It's like the shop is closed, the kitchen's closed. It's a more internal energy. They might have financial problems. Because the Four of Pentacles to me is financial issues. So some of you may have, that's what may be going on with them. But the Eight of Swords to me is a card about restrictions. It's a card sometimes of like fears, worries, and doubts, feeling like, a little bit stuck, feeling like, there's no hope, this is psychic attack energy too, feeling very low. Could be depression for some people, kind of feeling like a dark cloud is hanging over their head or something like that. They might kind of go through like periods of depression, or they might suffer from just not having like a hope, like having a lot of hope. There might, for some of you, you might feel like there's not a lot of hope for this relationship. For the divine feminine. Like, I just feel like there might not be a lot of hope. I feel like someone is waiting, especially if you're in a twin flame journey. I feel like someone is waiting. There's a lot of waiting that can happen in relationships, whether it's waiting for someone to text back or call back or communicate well. Even if you're in a relationship, this can be where you're just not, maybe waiting on things to change, waiting for things to shift. To me, it is actually, most likely for most of you, a relationship that's not going to go in how you want it to go. I'm just going to say that bluntly. I feel like for some of you, the outcome is the Two of Cups. And to me, it's, see, this could even be like grief. Like the Eight of Swords could be like grief of, like, okay, there's so many things coming through. Grief of the relationship no longer working, or grief of like somehow the relationship coming to an end, or not being able to have a relationship with this person. Like there's a lot of issues and things that can block a relationship. And I was reading this yesterday. It was online. I knew this was going to come up because every time I'm inspired by something, it always comes up in my readings somehow. And it was talking about how grief is just like love with no place to go. And I don't remember, I can't quote exactly who it is, but it's sort of like, I really resonate with that. I feel like this relationship could have gone somewhere. This is for those of you who are wanting to know about a divine feminine. I feel like it could have gone somewhere. I feel like there was love for many of you. There was love, or there is love, and there's still potential for love. But at the same time, I feel like for some of you, you're at a point where you maybe have pulled your energy back, or maybe for some of you, like, let's just say you're the divine feminine. Okay, and we haven't yet gotten to the divine masculine. So some of you, like, I feel like you are embarking on your own journey, and your energy is more focused on you, and it's like you're trying to figure out where you want to go and what you want to do. And the focus isn't so much on the relationship. I feel like many of you are waiting on the divine masculine. Like if you're watching, you say, you're waiting for me to talk about the divine masculine. I feel like some of you are waiting for the divine masculine. Those of you, divine masculine, who are wanting to know what's going on, or what's going to happen with this relationship, really the ball is in your court. That's how I see it. The ball is in your court. If you were to pick up the ball and run with it, because we have the King of Pentacles here, and he's holding this acorn, and to me that's like the ball, okay? If you divine masculines that are watching were to pick up the ball and run with this relationship could go very far. But I feel like for most of you that are watching, there's some issues with why it's not able to progress, why it's not able to continue. I feel like there's a lot of resentment one way or other. Whoever's watching, there's a lot of resentment Resentment can lead to anger, and anger can lead to hate. Okay, so the Eight of Swords could be an extreme of. I'm just gonna say some words that I'm getting from this card, this Eight of Swords card. So it could be an extreme form of hatred, hopelessness, despair, loss, feeling trapped, feeling restricted, feeling like there really isn't a way forward, or isn't a way out, or there isn't an opportunity, or there isn't some way to make it work. I really feel that, like part of me wants to say that there's always hope for relationships. But what I found in life is that some relationships just don't work. And there's nothing that we can do about it. And there's part of me that knows that there's people that are watching that are wanting me to tell them that there's hope. That there's hope for their divine feminine, to find their divine feminine. That there is always going to be that potential. But the thing is in life was that we don't always go with what's there, especially, divine masculines that are watching it. Divine masculines have to learn the lesson. Like, the lesson for divine masculines is about how women don't wait forever. And I say women, but like divine feminines don't wait forever. They have to continue living their life. They have to continue doing what they're doing. They have to continue to plan their life and go out and live life as best they can. And they can't always wait around for things to, for I want to say for the divine masculine to get off their ass. That's what I want to say. Part of me wants to tell the divine feminines, or people that are watching for divine feminines, that this is the time to kind of cut the ties and say, you know what, you're done. Some of you don't want to do that. See, because the thing is you don't want to do that because you probably feel for many of you that there is hope for this relationship. There is something between you. There is this love between you. I do, and I'm getting confirmation on that there is. But we also have the Two of Swords here. And the Two of Swords is, to me, a card about irreconcilable differences. So even though there's hope there, there's love there, it's just not working. Or it's just not meant to work. And my guide is showing me a person that I read for a long time ago. And they couldn't understand why a relationship just didn't work. Why it just didn't. And honestly, I think for some people that are hanging on to glimmers of hope, or hanging on to a love, to their feelings, the emotion of the relationship, it's going to be very challenging to accept that this relationship isn't working, or that this relationship isn't going to work. And no one wants to hear that. But I was the person that told this client that it wasn't going to work, and that it wasn't going to be, and that in some way they needed to really hear that, and they needed to accept that. We are not meant to be with every person we fall in love with. The hardest part, and this is, I was going to do like a whole separate video. I came to this conclusion last night. The hardest part about relationships that don't work is being disappointed. Is being disappointed that maybe you didn't get closure, or maybe the other person didn't do or say what they should have done, or what they could have done. And that's the hard part. Is that, you invest your time, you invest your energy into a relationship, and you fall in love. And the hardest part, especially because we have this Two of Cups here, to me, especially divine feminines, or people that are watching for the divine feminine, especially if there is love. And if you're a divine masculine, whether you're female or man, doesn't matter. If you're divine masculine, then maybe you wore your heart on your sleeve, or maybe you fell in love with this person, Maybe you really did have feelings for this person, and maybe that's the hard part. The hard part is like Kara Bradshaw says, where did the love go? Where does the love go? That's why she got back together with Aiden. That's why people get back together. That's why people, after so long of not talking, just jump right back in, even though there was heartbreak. And I think some people that, are interested in divine feminine, divine masculine readings, I think some people are really hoping that see, this is what they don't teach you in school. That your heart does what it wants to do. It can fall in love with anybody. It can happen at any time. And sometimes we fall in love with people that don't reciprocate our love, or that the energy isn't quite right. Or sometimes it's personalities. It doesn't even matter what the reason is. Is that in school they teach you that you fall in love, you get into a relationship, and everything works out. And the reality is you fall in love, you don't always get into a relationship. And even if you do get into a relationship, it doesn't always work out. And that's just the hard part. And every romantic comedy is very pushing, how the guy comes back or the girl comes back and, finally declares her love, or finally says something, or finally just admits that they're, and the relationship then takes a step forward. I feel like a lot of times people get stuck because the Eight of Swords is stuck. So some of you are stuck on someone, okay? Sometimes, we get stuck on people, or sometimes we want a relationship to move forward, and that's the carrot. That the beauty, and to me, this is the carrot, okay? Because we have also this Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is the carrot. See, we have this heart dangling here, and that's like a love. It's like loving someone that, you can love someone, and then the relationship never goes anywhere. And I don't know if any of you have had that kind of relationship before, where you fell in love and the relationship didn't go anywhere, but to me, that's the hardest. That's very, very challenging. It's frustrating. And I think for, divine feminines, across the board that are single, okay, or that are wanting to meet a divine masculine counterpart, I think that's the hard part, is that there's a lot of divine masculines out there that don't want something long-term. They don't care if they fall in love and it never goes anywhere. They don't care if they break your heart because they just want their needs. And sometimes it's just about them needing validation. And sometimes it's just about them wanting sex. And sometimes it's just about them distracting themselves. And I've had some really interesting conversations with men about what they want and how, very few and far between do they fall in love. And again, not everybody has the capacity to fall in love. I have to say that. There are people that just don't have, especially there's certain males, and I have to say, I wouldn't say very logical, very mathematical brained males that just there's a connection missing in their energy of what they don't even know what love is. I've talked to some what you call player type masculines who sleep, with different person, on a regular basis, and they're out there and they're chasing people, and they aren't falling in love. They're not falling in love. They are they don't even really know what love is. They are distracting themselves, having a good time. There is, I have to say, this whole concept of fun in our society too, this concept of fun and having fun, and that it's our birthright to have fun. And it's something that it's something that I kind of want to address, and I don't really know how to address it best quite yet, so maybe another video for another time. But I feel like for divine feminines, take relationships more seriously. Biologically, they have to, because women have responsibility. If they were to get pregnant, it's a responsibility to the planet. It's a heavy weight to carry. Okay, so it's something to remember when it comes to like the differences between men and women and how men and women think, but also something to remember as far as like just I don't know, just how we approach, how we're going to approach things differently. If a woman approaches a relationship like she wants to get married, and like and many women are programmed this way, and this is how we're kind of programmed, is that, you know, we are programmed for the one. We are like, so we are programmed to think that every relationship is going to lead to something more. And if you're a divine masculine, but say, and you're watching for a divine feminine, but say you're still a very feminine male, you could also be looking for the one and have thought a relationship was the one and be tricked into thinking that that relationship was the one when it wasn't. Okay. There's a lot of things that go into the one. And I don't care if someone is a twin flame or if they are your soulmate or you think that they are your soulmate. In this case, I feel like even if this person, but I didn't see the twin flame card. Even if this person was, say, a soulmate, a divine counterpart of some kind, that, you know, you're watching for divine feminine, or you are the divine feminine, I don't feel that this relationship is meant for distance. It's just not. And again, we are taught in school that relationships are supposed to last forever. We're supposed to get married and last forever. But that's just not how this relationship, I feel like, is going to go. And I feel like for many of you, you need to kind of move on from it because it's not going to produce what you want it to produce, at least from my perspective. Some of you are going to hang on to hope that maybe there's a glimmer, and you could be waiting for a very long time and wasting your time. Others, you know, you could be holding on to hope, and things could shift and change. Things can always shift and change. This is where I tell you to get a private reading because it's hard to tell how really it's going to go. Sorry, it's so vague there, but yeah. I want to do the divine masculine. Again, okay, so for those of you who want to know what's going on with your divine masculine, you could be female watching this, and you could be male watching this. I don't care. Doesn't matter how you identify. If you were watching for a divine masculine, this is what's going on with that. Or you could be a divine masculine watching this as well. So, Some of you are dealing with a third-party situation, okay? So you could be married or in a relationship with someone else. You could be watching for someone who's in a relationship with someone else. Because we have the devil in reverse, and the devil in the reverse is breaking free. It's freedom, breaking the chains, breaking the cords of attachment, releasing cords of attachment, releasing even like, I wouldn't say release. You can't really release a cord of love, but like letting go of what once was. See, it's interesting. There's some cobwebs around this heart that the devil. There's some cobwebs. So to me, this is old. There's something old about this. You know, there could be you know, one of those karmic karmic people involved here at some way, because there's this energy of like an old love. Now, for some of you, this is someone who, you know, from the past, like way long ago, that maybe you're interested in, or maybe this is a relationship that you've been in for quite some time. There's something old about the love, you know? It's dusty. So it's like, for some people, they're still attached, you know, so they're attached to an old relationship. And I'm getting confirmation on that from my guides. Oh, stop. Hang on. The ear is like ringing so hard. There. Um, so, and I'm also seeing, okay, so the outcome for this one is we have the Queen of Swords here. The Queen of Swords is this. The Queen of Swords is the lack of trust, distrust, mistrust. You know, I'm one of those people that like either I trust somebody or I don't. And if I don't trust somebody, which is very few and far between, because I tend to be, I feel like I'm a very trusting person actually, and I feel like people take advantage of that. But at the same time, I feel very trusting and generally, like if I don't trust somebody, there is usually something, there's a reason why I don't trust them. So if you feel, okay, no matter who I'm talking to, I don't care if you're female or male, okay? If you don't trust somebody, you don't trust somebody, period, bottom line, the relationship isn't going to go anywhere. You can't, like some people feel like they can work on trust, and yeah, maybe you could work on trust, but I feel like it's, to me, trust is really black and white. It is. My guys are confirming that. To me, it's black and white. It's either you trust somebody or you don't. And my dad would say you trust somebody in this day and age with your life. Because you could sleep with someone who gives you something which could kill you. And that's where you have to trust somebody with your life. And there's people out there that just don't get that. And I feel like there's like a lot of like men that I've met that just, they don't see it that way. They don't care. They don't care. They'll sleep with whatever. They don't care. So it's one of those things where if there's no trust, the trust may be broken for many reasons. Okay. It could be cheating. It could be past cheating. It could be current cheating. It doesn't even matter. It could be just like you just don't trust them. Maybe there's just too many things that they've said that have been hurtful. Or maybe, you yourself, let's just say you're divine masculine, that have been said, like things that you said or did that were too painful. I feel like this Queen of Swords, is in pain still. Because she's got this, and I haven't talked about this in a long time. She's got this, you can see she's got this sword, okay, that's curved, okay? If she put that in someone, they would be hurting. And the Queen of Swords is, connected to a lot of other people. So I have to say that, pissing the Queen of Swords off is not something you really want to do, okay? So this divine masculine, I feel like really pissed you off. Whoever, is watching for this, I feel like this divine, he really did. And sometimes it's best not to know what he did, the full extent of what he did, because it's just going to piss you off more. And it's just going to become more painful. If you read any old text messages, or if you see any, old emails, or if you see whatever it is that you see, it's going to be more painful. Every single thing that he's done is painful to me, as far as I'm concerned. We've got the Tower in the position of emotions. So like whatever's happened between the two of you has caused like a major situation, like a major rift. Especially emotionally, emotionally, maybe they weren't prepared for some kind of ending. It could have been quite brutal for some of you. There is a level of pain and suffering here, because we have the, what's it called? The Five of Swords. The Five of Swords to me is a person who throws you under the bus, who betrays you, who switches sides. I don't like people who switch sides. It pisses me off personally. So maybe you had somebody who switched sides, and when I see the if I'm reading for a masculine, if I see the Five of Swords come up, to me, this is serious betrayal. And when you throwing somebody under your bus, this is turning their back on you, turning their back on you. Letting you suffer alone, not showing up for you, not fighting for you, fighting for themselves. The Five of Swords dude fights for himself. He is out for himself. To me, he is not fighting. He or she is not fighting for you. And there was this girl, and I forget her name. She said, never put up with someone who doesn't fight for you. And what does that mean? Fighting for you is being on your side. It's being the kind of thing where if you're upset, then they're upset because they want the best for you. Anybody that truly wants the best for you isn't going to throw you under the bus, isn't going to turn their back on you, isn't going to betray you in any kind of way. They're going to stick up for you. They're going to say, no, this isn't right. Or no, blah, 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 blah. In some way, this can come up, especially in Libra relationships, but most relationships have an element of Libra, okay? And this can come up where, it's sort of and I grew up with this myself personally, so, I see this as, a thing. So it's if I say, I don't know, you suck, then you need somebody to argue and be like, why? What's the problem? What's going on? Are you okay? Why are you saying this? But if they don't, then they're not fighting for you. They're just out for themselves. They just want to fuck around and do what they want. And they just want to be distracted, or they just want to have sex, or they just want to have a what's it called? A fraction. I call it a fraction type relationship. Fraction type relationship is a relationship where you might fall in love, but it's like a part-time job. You have to work, but you get none of the benefits. So it's this to me is a part-time job. So this whole thing feels like a part-time job. It feels like, a relationship that I feel like the divine masculine did not give the feminine really any of the things that they would need. They didn't fight for them. They're not going to show up for them. They basically, to me, this is a person who comes and goes. And I always say a person that comes and goes is a real douche. So you're dealing with a douchebag, okay? I don't care if they're female or male. You're dealing with a douchebag. The Five of Wands to me is someone that comes and goes. He's like the run. There's a lot of running and chasing. Now, a lot of running and chasing can happen in twin flame relationships. So this could be a twin flame relationship or a soulmate type relationship, or some person in your life that just comes and goes. There's a lot of coming and going. He might come into your life and then leave again. There's a lot of stunts that men pull. Okay, and I'm talking about divine masculines here. So when I say men, it could be strong masculine women. But here's the thing, the stunts that get pulled are coming and going, texting and then ghosting, never really telling you where they're at. And then when they do tell you where they're at, then it's really, really upsets you, pisses off, pushes them away. And then you still don't even know where the hell they're going, or what the hell they're doing. And this is just a person. I'm just going to say this. This is just a person who doesn't know what the fuck they want to do. This is a person who has at least one other person in their life that they're dating, or they're married to, or they're in another relationship to. This is a person who will have more than one relationship going at the same time. This is a person who could, I'm saying not for everyone, who could have more than one person that they're cheating with. They could have more than one thing going at the same time. They could be sleeping with these people. When I say cheating, women naturally go into thinking that when I say cheating, or the word cheating, that means having sex with somebody else. But there's a lot of shades of gray to cheating. So they could be texting, they could be emailing, they could be whatever. Meeting up with them, not even sleeping with them, but having some kind of relationship outside of a commitment. And the thing is, the sad part, to me, this is very sad. It's sad is that this divine masculine doesn't really care about any of the things that they're doing. They don't really care about the relationship. I am getting, for some, they really only care about their kids. If they have kids, they only care about their kids. There is no true love here. it's interesting because going back to what I saw for the divine feminine, I felt like there was a lot of love there. I feel like the divine feminine, if you're watching, has loved their divine masculine counterpart more than the divine masculine did. You might be dealing with a narcissist too, or you might be dealing with someone who just, again, going back to what I said about men not getting it, divine men not getting it. Sorry, some strange person driving by. And there is no way, okay, and I'm just gonna say this, like, I had an old friend a long time ago who was like, you just need someone, Beth, that's gonna get it. And I really didn't know what that she meant. Like, she ended up dating someone who was older than her, who wanted to settle down, have kids right away, and get into a long-term relationship. And it was pretty simple because they wanted the same thing. So, like, if you're dealing with someone or you're watching for someone who doesn't get it, and by getting it means wanting to have what you want, and what you want might not even be marriage and kids. What you want might be just having some kind of partnership, or having some kind of relationship, some kind of romantic relationship. And like, but they can't even do that. To me, the divine masculine can't even do that, because to me, the only thing that the divine masculine cares about are their kids. They do not care about, it's sort of like they could have 50 divine feminines that they're dating, and they would not care about any of them. And it's really hard for me to say this because it's probably going to come off as being hurtful, and I'm hoping that I haven't hurt anybody by the things that I've said. But to me, this divine masculine just does not care. It's the Two of Pentacles. My guide said does not give two fucks. He does not care, and I'll tell you why he doesn't care. He doesn't care because it's very simple. He is not functioning from his heart. You know, I'm being shown that he doesn't even know how to function from his heart. You might also be dealing with someone who has a little bit of autism, who's on the autistic spectrum. And I've seen this with certain like moon placements and certain, I've seen this with men who are on this autistic spectrum or are very logical, mathematical minded. It's like they are operating from purely like the headspace, purely logical, rational thinking, purely logical, you know, they don't really get romance, but they also don't even really have a heart. They're not functioning from their heart. They care about their kids, but it's hard because I don't even feel like there's love, there's real love from their kids. Like some of you are dealing with someone who's quite cold, or who's someone just does not operate from their heart space. And this can lead to them not caring. I feel like I'm reading for someone. The Two of Pentacles sometimes has strong Gemini placement in their chart, but this can also, I feel like I'm reading like there is some air, strong Libra, strong Gemini, strong Aquarius, with this divine masculine, a coldness to this divine masculine, but it's also, they are not operating from their heart space. If they did operate from their heart space, wow. If they did operate from their heart space, they would have amazing relationships. There are people that would show up for them. There are people that would show up to love them. They would have better relationships maybe to parents. They'd have better relationships to just friends. They'd have more friends. They'd have more of maybe a social life. They might not be so down, or they might not feel so alone. It's sort of like they just have to go through their own transformation. And going back to a little bit, taking a page from the divine feminine part of this reading, that Some of you may be hoping that this relationship or this person, okay, whether they're male or female, doesn't matter, is going to transform. It's going to change. It's going to start operating from their heart. It's going to like start to really see you. You're really hoping that they are going to see you, that they're going to see people in their life. In some way, you see their highest self. You see their highest good. You see their potential. You see, you might really see them. But to me, they have to see themselves. They have to love themselves first in order to be able to love you. My guide is showing me that. Like some of you, they absolutely do not love themselves. They don't even love the people in their life. How could they possibly love you? Because they don't even love the people in their life. They don't even love themselves. And they don't love themselves enough to allow any kind of transformation to happen. This person seems to be incredibly busy. This person seems to be like, have a lot of things on their plate, all of which are going to become excuses of why they can't treat you better, or why they can't do more for you, or why they can't show up for you. But to me, this person lacks, authenticity. They lack self-love. To me, there's a lot of sex-driven motivation or desire motivation, or, divine masculines can have a strong sex drive. So to me, men typically have a strong sex drive. So, I wouldn't be surprised. This is a motivation for them. Again, it cannot be an excuse of why they don't treat you right. Okay? It's not an excuse of why they don't treat you right. I feel like some of you were or are dealing with a player or someone who doesn't want a long-term relationship. Now, they might not be, again, this person might not even be aware or consciously aware of their actions, or, consciously aware that it would be very hurtful to you to not get into a long-term relationship to them, or not to be with them, or something. Some people are not even aware, again, of what it's going to do to somebody else if they don't commit to you, or if they don't have something with you that's real or that's loving. To me, there's no love here. There is no love here. I have to say that. I wish I could say that there is. There's an old love here. This is an old flame. But that's all that I'm seeing as far as love. Which tells me that some of you are really hoping that this could become new again. Maybe some of you are hoping that you could start fresh with this person. That maybe you realize that they have feelings for you. I feel like some of you are waiting for this person. Some of you may have had a strong friendship with them. You could have had a strong friendship somehow with them, because we have the Strength card. Some of you, they might want to actually remain friends with you, or to actually want to remain in contact with you of some kind. But I feel like there's two different modes of operating. I feel like and everybody has a different operating system, okay? So some people operate in the mode of getting to know somebody in order to get into a relationship to somebody, in order to maybe settle down and have kids or get married. That's their mode of operating, okay? Or even have a long-term relationship, whatever. That's a mode of operating. And then there's this other mode of operating, which really doesn't have that goal, doesn't have that anticipation, or that vision, long-term vision, or even imagination of what a future with somebody would look like. They're not even trying to have a future with someone. They're trying to just they're kind of just living in the moment. And I have to say, like, the beautiful thing about divine masculines is that they can live in the moment like nobody else. Okay. So a divine feminine might be totally freaking out, and on her period and freaking out and getting upset. But the divine masculine is just in the moment. It's just like, okay, let's just go get some ice cream, or okay, let's just go da, you know, or you're gonna be totally fine, don't worry about it. Like, that's the divine masculine. So like, in some way, this divine masculine might be very comforting in that way, where they live in the moment. They live kind of by the seat of their pants. They are not planning, and I will say this to you right now, they are not planning a future with you. If you are hoping and wishing and dreaming that this is a person that is planning a future with you, they are not. You will need to do a lot of work on this relationship. And I don't even know necessarily if it's worth it. Some of you, it would be worth it to work on it. Others, I feel like, going back to what I said about the trust issue, it's not worth it because there's no trust. I do feel, and I will say, that this divine masculine thinks very highly of you for some reason. And I don't know why. Some of you might have, you know, a lot of dreams and goals and things that you're working on that they admire. It could be you that they admire. To me, there is an admiration for you. And if there was or is any kind of friendship, there's still sort of like a lingering desire to have some kind of connection or friendship, even if, let's just say, the relationship didn't work out. But, you know, I feel like this divine masculine really has to get his shit together. And I feel like, you know, I knew the Four of Cups was going to pop up at some point. You could be waiting. This is, again, hoping, wishing, and dreaming. The Four of Cups is literally hoping and wishing and dreaming and pining that things were different. To me, there's a reality check that needs to happen here for this divine masculine, or for you, maybe divine masculine watching. Okay, for this divine masculine, I almost feel like it would be better for you to date a whole nother person. Because I feel like, okay, there's too many factors for things that you don't like about this person. And I'm just going to say that. Maybe they don't show up for you. You know, red flag number 1. Maybe they've cheated on you, or they've betrayed you, or switched sides. Red flag number 2. You don't trust them. They kind of keep you hanging. They kind of keep you guessing. They aren't focused on having a relationship with you. They're kind of a player. I feel like whether it's actual or not, and whatever is, they're stuck on this old love, with whoever that is. Or you're stuck on this old love. So for some of you, it's you that's very stuck on an old love. Let's just talk about the devil for a second. That makes you think that you aren't free. And I realized recently there's a lot of tricks to our society, and there's a lot of tricks about relationships. And there's people out there that want to control you. And there's people out there that want your energy, and they just want the power over you, or they want to manipulate you into whatever, because they're too chicken to actually be vulnerable and show you who they really are. But the trick is the illusion that we are all living under is that, number 1, freedom is an illusion in some way as well. But I'd rather be living under the illusion that I'm free and actually feel free than be living under the illusion of that I can't get out of what I'm in, that I've gone too deep, that I've gotten myself up shit creek, that I'm carrying too many burdens financially, that I have too many debts, that I can't, literally, like, some people don't even, they're in a relationship, they can't leave because they don't have a car. Some people are in relationships they can't leave because of their debts, because of their bills, because if they left, they would be homeless. But again, there's a lot of tricks and there's a lot of illusions to what makes a person free. And I used to say, and I'll still say this, personally, I'd rather go live in a tent in a park somewhere than live under the illusion that I'm not free and feel trapped and give somebody my power and feel like under somebody else's control and have to answer to somebody else every single fucking day because I can't, whatever reason, break free otherwise. No, I'd rather go live in a park and starve. That's my personal take on it. But many of you are also, watching for someone who's married or watching when you were married. And, I truly believe, and I've gotten more to the perspective that marriage really is about money. Relationships in 2023, I have to say there's a discussion that needs to be had about money. And I was going to record my part 2, my North Node in Aries part 2 video, because one of the issues that I saw when I recorded it, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday, that the issue is that people are going to have a difficult time surviving alone. And that the whole system is set up so that we get into relationships people thrive when they are married for a reason, because they have dual incomes. They are, able to pay for blah, blah, blah. But single people do not have that other income. So they have to do it entirely on their own. And if they don't have it, then SOL. But people who are married, people who are in relationships, our society really pushes that. It really pushes it hard. And that's going to come up starting in July, maybe even sooner than that, where people are going to be like, this is bullshit. It's bullshit to have to be in a relationship in order to really survive. To have to be in a relationship, or else financially it's just not going to work. To have to be in a relationship that, because of whatever XYZ choices have been made. And to me, the devil is anything that binds you, is anything that ties you, that anything that tricks you into thinking that you don't have options, that tricks you into thinking that you can't leave, tricks you into thinking that you don't have the money, blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, I didn't even realize this until way later. The thing is, you see this girl, she feels like she's trapped, but she's not. All she needs to do, there's a key there. All she needs to do is get up and walk out of that hole that she's in. That's it. And the funny thing is that most of us, and I say she, but I see it mostly as a female, but doesn't matter in this reading. It's metaphor, okay? We have, anybody can get up and go. And even myself, I thought about this yesterday. I was like, for a while, I felt like worried about the devil type stuff. What if shit happens? What if I can't find a place to live? Or what if I can't find a job? Or what if I can't blah, blah, blah? What about money and what all this is? But I was like, you know what? At the very end of the day, if I can't make it work, I sell my bed. I throw all my shit in storage. I go live in my car. That's it. I'm free. And for some of you, this divine masculine is not willing to do that. Most people are not willing to do that. And for some of you, this divine masculine is under some kind of illusion that they aren't free. And it might not even be an illusion. It might be that the devil is their partner, metaphorically speaking, and that their partner is in control of the finances, or is contributing to the finances in a certain way that makes it really difficult to leave. And there's so many relationships that, again, it's sort of one of the tricks of the culture. Again, We get into the relationship. It's sort of like financially, everybody, religious, wherever you come from, it's a push from parents, from society to get into the relationship so that you are financially secure, right? But then what happens to get married, right? Then what happens when things don't work out? What happens when it's no longer working? When the love, in my opinion, grows very stale or cold. When there is no love anymore. Or at least it's not the same as it once was. So, to me, that's divine masculine. Very interesting energy. I've been reading for an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to pull some last cards to just to see what comes through for the divine feminine and divine masculine. To see if there's anything like that's sort of collective. I want to say collectively the divine feminine really needs to stop. I want to say stop falling for the douchebags and stop with the alcoholics and the flakes and the people that just are really messed up. Do yourself a favor and decide that you're not going to do that anymore. Divine feminines, okay? Divine masculines have to stop with, like, for some divine masculine that's watching, their partner is maybe has an alcohol problem. Very ego driven. Their partner might actually be like a masculine female or somebody who just, again, has a very strong ego. Divine masculines, I feel like they have to work on their childhood stuff, like their issues. They have so many issues, like childhood abandonment stuff, fears of rejection, or like fears of like getting rejected somehow or getting abandoned somehow. Actually, going back to what I said, the divine masculine needs to act from a place of emotion and act from a place of being in their heart space, and act and take action steps. Say you love someone. Like, as far as I'm concerned, like, when you love someone, it's not something that you mess around with and let go of, because it just doesn't happen that much. And the beautiful thing, and this is the thing that just blows my mind, is that, like, the thing in our culture is that we are told, in some way, false beliefs about love. It's the false beliefs about love that are problematic, where the false belief that we're going to get into a relationship and that relationship's going to be forever, that relationship's going to lead to happily ever after if we get married or if we have kids or if we blah, blah, blah. It's like a false belief. The truth about love is that it's a beautiful, if you have a connection to someone, a love connection to someone, it creates a kind of harmony. It creates a bond. It creates something special. Whereas if you don't have that with somebody else, it's just like you're dating a stranger, or you're dating someone who you really can't open up to, or that you can't really even talk to, or that you can't even make plans with. To me, when you have a loving relationship, the love kind of permeates the whole thing. It kind of is like a foundation. It's an energy, it's a foundation, and it makes things more beautiful, even if it doesn't last. Even if it's just for a day. You can fall in love with someone for a day. You can fall in love with someone, and generally the people that you fall in love with are people that you have a connection to. And the hard part about this reading is that divine masculines don't operate necessarily from that place of love, and they don't necessarily take action steps. They don't value it the same way women do. Because of women's programming to want the one, or to see everyone as the one, that makes them in some way think that every person that they love is going to lead to something, which again, it goes back to the false belief. It's not that way. Not every relationship works, and it's not meant to. Whereas the divine masculine needs to start operating from that place of love, because what happens is if they don't, they leave the divine feminine very disappointed, very hurt, very angry, like shortchanged, shorted in some way. And then what happens is the divine feminine becomes kind of spiteful, angry, vengeful, damaged, hurt, that they didn't get maybe what they wanted or what they thought that they should have had. And again, all of that anger is coming from a place of grief, because what is that place of grief? That great place of grief is just love that didn't really amount to anything. And the beautiful thing about love is that, yeah, it can happen any time, and it can be a beautiful experience, whether it lasts for a day or for a lifetime. So, very interesting reading. I think this is a good place for me to end. Thank you guys so much for being amazing fans and followers. I know some people in the chat said hi. I do want to say hi to them before I leave. Isa Ends and the Queen of Sheba said hi. Thank you guys so much for saying hi. Appreciate it so much. If you guys can, please donate. I'd appreciate it so much. Yeah, give me a thumbs up. Really helps the algorithm if people give me a thumbs up or make a comment. This video probably won't be completed until later, but if you see it pop up and you're able to make a comment, please do. Please share, and like I said, please, please like. All the likes really help my channel. So I really hope that this reading gave some people some things to think about, and I really hope that people start to think about relationships in maybe like an alternative kind of way. I think the hope for everyone is to be at least at peace with whether they're single or whether they're in a relationship. And hopefully I give you some clarity about the relationship that you're interested in, or the person that you're interested in, and about relationships in general. So I'm gonna head out now. Thank you guys so much again, and I'll be back again for more videos, so stay tuned. I do intend to try to maybe record over on Instagram today after I take a little break. So I'm gonna send everyone big hugs, big kisses, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Okay, wish you guys all the best. All right, take care.